As we get towards the ending of the show in this Kaede specific arc, Best Girl, I'm guessing this episode we're going to learn a little bit more about what actually happened with her adolescent syndrome, because we specifically didn't learn too much, you know, like it was like a catalyst for a lot of the things, but we didn't learn too much. I'm excited. What's up, Dapper Squad? It's your boy Darius, back at it again with Bunny Girl Senpai. Episode 12 is what we were on. Last episode we had the goals of Kaede, trying to get outside, do more things with her big brother. Her end goal was to go to school, but she wanted to go to the beach, put on new clothes, be a new person, because, you know, fear of being stagnant and living indoors the entire rest of her life was becoming a major fear for her, which is understandable. So I'm excited for that. But then it turns out at the end she's like lost her memories. I have no idea what's going on there. I am very excited to hop into this. Remember, guys, with certain shows like Bunny Girl Senpai and Seven Deadly Sins, other shows like that, I can't put the reaction on YouTube, so make sure to click the link in the description, watch my reaction, come back here. If you guys want to see that reaction in the full length, make sure to check out that Patreon down below. As well, if you guys want to see the next show that's going to be replacing Bunny Girl Senpai early, also do that. Let's hop into this. Bunny Girl Senpai, episode 12, called Life is a Never-Ending Dream. So I think the first thing I definitely want to talk about is the story of what happened to Kaede originally. You know, we knew it had to do with social interaction and being bullied in school and stuff like that, but the fact that it made her like lose her memories and cause a, I mean, I have heard, I have not done many research or much research into mental disorders and or dissociative identity disorder myself at all. But from what I have heard is that, especially during adolescence, you know, adolescent syndrome and childhood, if you, and it was so crazy that this is now coming to me as I'm talking about this, and they said it exactly like in the show, if something very traumatic or traumatizing, I just use the word trauma again, happens to somebody during the stages of which they're developing their personalities and or thoughts, mindsets, stuff like that, but mainly personalities, if something traumatic happens to them during that, their brain can try to, and it's exactly what Socrates said in this episode, can try to cut off that portion that is traumatizing, kind of completely forget about it and work around that and try to, and it can lead to multiple different personalities and or multiple different identities, because some of them are disassociated from the other ones because they've completely cut them off and are unable to mend and mold together to form one big group personality, which is so crazy. And I could totally be wrong on that, but I swear that's what I've heard from, I don't know where from, but back in the day, that's the things I've learned in school. And so with that being said, relating to Kaede, is that what it is, DID specifically, or is it just like adolescent syndrome, but that's just what we call it in our world, DID, you know, like, because, you know, is it a version of quantum entanglement, quantum teleportation? I have no idea personally, but all I do know is that this is very tragic and very awful that this happened to such a sweet young girl like Kaede. And it kind of makes me remember what Shoko and Sakuta's conversation was. You know, she just lives life trying to be a little sweeter and a little nicer than the day before. And that's one thing I personally like to pride myself on, is and if you guys didn't know, I do, or at least I did. I worked at an Apple store. I've worked at many retailers, stuff like that. So I'd have to deal with all kinds of customers, all kinds of different people. And I feel like one of the reasons I was very good at that, and one of the things I've uphold about myself today, is I am very empathetic, which just means that you are able to put yourself into somebody else's shoes and or relate to the pain and or things that they are going with. And so, like, an example is like somebody being bullied and or somebody going through other things. You know, it's much easier for someone like me to understand what they're going through, because I've gone through a number of ordeals myself, and to relate to them and to try to connect with them on a different level. And it's I think made me a lot more socially aware of what's going on around me and stuff like that, but it also is very helpful, and it overall makes you a much kinder person, in my opinion. Like, I feel like I am a very kind. That's so I don't sound humble at all when I talk like that, or I don't sound like I would be at all. But I consider myself a very kind person because if anything, if I even think about doing wrong, or if I think about saying something I necessarily shouldn't, I think about if I was literally in that other person's shoes, how would I feel about getting that said and or done to myself? And 90% of the time, it's like, man, I wouldn't like that. I wouldn't think it's good, so I don't do it, you know? And it's just, if more people were to live like that and to think like that, you know, like Shoko, like Sakuta is now, then this world would be a very different, you know, world, a very different place that people can live in. And it's just like something that I strive to push outwards towards others. And I really enjoyed that conversation between Shoko and him. And he's like, it's okay for me to live like this. It's okay for me to try to do this. And she's like, yes, it's amazing, you know? And like, it's a very, like, I just wish this didn't happen to Kaede. This is so tragic and sad, you know, like, Jesus. But I think that's where I'm gonna end the episode. Fantastic one. I'm excited to see the finale. If you guys are as well, please leave a like. Let me know what you thought down below. Of course, I appreciate you, Dapper Squad. Have a great day, y'all. Peace out, you guys.